You don't just set your children straight. You don't have lines that your kids cross and then you snap on them. Billy, knock it off. Billy, I told you. If I told you once, I told you 100. Just get to your room. But Mom, just get to your room. But Dad, shh, go. And then you go hammer him for not listening. No, you never correct Billy because he's wrong. You correct Billy because he's more than what he's choosing. And you always show him the truth about what he can be so that it exposes the frailty of where he's choosing. And you always make it about Billy being more and being better, not, wow, I sure ticked off my parents. That is not a representation of God, because if he connects you to God, now he thinks he ticked off God. Come on. Ooh, that's a quiet room. Wow. Look, you say, oops, I've been messing up. No, you only mess up if you stay there. How about showing your children change? And one time, 3 years from now, they say, Mommy, I remember you used to really, and you don't do that anymore. And you haven't said a word, you've just changed. And now you sit on the chair and you begin to weep. And you share with your precious little son why Mommy changed and how convicted you were. And how you used to this and that, but you erased those lines because nobody owes you a thing. And I used to find my identity through you, and I'd challenge my mothering ability through your actions. And I used to take it out on you and feel like I was failing if you weren't doing well. And son, I am so sorry, and that's such a lie. And God himself has dealt with my heart, and you're the best, buddy. And now you're hugging and weeping, and he's crying, and yay. And guess what he has now? A role model and a pattern to follow. And I'll bet you one day when he has children, he'll carry the legacy of Mama and that conversation and memory in his heart. And I bet if you teach a child in the way they should go, when they grow older, they won't depart. I bet that's not just speech. We are so busy preaching at each other, we've done very little expressing to each other. Are you all okay? I got on the parenting thing a little bit. We just squeezed in a parent conference. Come on, if you'll just take that one little thing and just never touch your children because they're wrong. And don't ever correct them if you feel frustrated. Go get a grip on your heart and come back. Because you don't want to teach them and give them the revelation that God's that way. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't receive because I never had a real loving father. I have a hard time receiving. People just start automatically. It's one of the biggest lies of the devil to compare the people that are significant in your life to God. But the tendency is true, so why not capitalize on the lie that Satan's counterfeit and just go ahead and live the life? I remember the forklift driver, he didn't want to do my move, and he was giving me a hard time. And I said, no, it's okay, pal. I said, I got to go through all these aisles anyway. I'm not in a hurry. Well, it's good you're not in a hurry because it won't be here fast. And my heart broke for him. In my former days, I'd have been indignant. I'd have given him a mouth battle or maybe even called him out and challenged him. But I walked over and I said, hey, Mike, oh my goodness, my heart's breaking for you. What do you mean? Well, I can just see how hurting you are, and I can see what's going on. You don't even realize this. You're putting it on everybody else. I don't need a lecture from you. Shh, shh, shh. Mike, I see what's going on. And it's your marriage. And it can work. You're fueling a fire. I just saw what happened in your kitchen this morning. What are you talking about? And I told him what I saw, and I heard what he said, and I saw him slam the door. And that grown man, 40-some years old, is wailing, leaning over his forklift and can't even hardly breathe. Why? Because the living God just came right here. Where does he live? In me. If I'm bothered one bit by Mike's actions, I will never get that revelation. I will never have the privilege of helping him and watching God convict him. If I'm 1 ounce indignant towards his attitude, I am never getting that revelation. Are you following me? But if I see him through the eyes of the living God, and where sin is abounding, grace is coming greater, we're about to have an encounter. And you're about to get hammered by the love of God. You get it?